Hello students. So welcome back to the channel. In this video, we are going to discuss the KVPY 2010 year questions. That also first unit we are going to discuss. That is diversity of the living world. From that, 4 chapters of the first unit of 11th class. So today this is the first question. Bacteria can survive by absorbing soluble nutrient by their body surface, but animal cannot. So first of all, I'll try to give you one concept behind it. You should know what is surface area to volume ratio. Surface area to volume ratio. This you should know. Now see, this is actually one cell I'm taking it. Let us assume this is one cube. Okay, and this cube is having 1 centimeter square size. From all the side, it is only size is 1 centimeter. This is 1 centimeter is given. So what will be the area? You know very well, formula for area is 6a square. It will be 6 into 1 into 1. So your answer will go 6. And for volume, it will be A3. It will be 1 into 1 into 1. So answer will go 1. So for the cube whose size is 1 centimeter, your area to volume ratio will be 6 is to 1. This much is clear now? This is area and this is volume. Now, if suppose I increase the size, let us assume we have increased the size. Just imagine only, we have increased the size to, let us assume we have done it for 4 centimeter square. So now here in this case, A is equal to 4 centimeter. Clear? So your A is 4 centimeter, then area you will apply the same formula, 6A square. So it means 6 into 4 into 4. So 6 4s are 24. 24 into 4 will come 96. And let us assume volume is 8th cube. So 4 into 4 into 4. So it will come to be 64. Now here area to volume ratio will be, you will substitute, you will write 96 is to 16. So I think so it will be nearly, you can say 1.5 is to 1. This way you will get it. So if you see the size is increasing, your area to volume ratio is decreasing. Please focus, area to volume ratio of small size is more as compared to the cell which is big in size. Understanding? It means if area to volume ratio increase, it means cell is small. And if area to volume ratio decrease, then cell is bigger in size. Is it clear? Understood? Up till here, beta concept is clear. So now by this concept, you have to solve it. If you remember, in the intestine, we increase the area by making villi. So we have to increase the surface area so that we can absorb the nutrient more readily. But in case of the animal cells, which are actually big in size, so their area to volume ratio is small. Understood? The area to volume ratio is small because the cell is big in size. So I think so this option is given here. Animals are having too small surface area to volume ratio as compared to bacteria, because bacteria, typical bacteria is 1 to 2 μm in size. It is 1 to 2 μm in size, and typical eukaryotic cell is 10 to 20 μm in size. It means animal cells are bigger. Because they are bigger, they are having very low surface area to volume. Area is low. Understood the concept? Area is low. And as a result, diffusion will not be easily. So they don't take the nutrient by the method of absorption. So I hope by this you are getting the answer is third option. Understood? Now let us move to the next question. Now see next question. In 1670, Robert Boyle conducted an experiment where he placed a viper, that is a poisonous snake, in a chamber and he rapidly reduced the pressure of that chamber. He reduced the pressure of that chamber, which is true. First of all, you know very well, when the pressure is reduced, volume is increased. I think so in the chemistry you must have studied it. He must have given that pressure is inversely proportional to volume. First of all this. But here we have to understand another concept. If you know the partial pressure of each gases are there, and when you go at high altitude, try to understand, when you move at high altitude, partial pressure of gases decrease. But body compensated by increasing the RBC production, it compensated. But in case of the experiment, what he is doing on the snake, this is a chamber in which he has kept the snake. Okay, he has kept the snake in this chamber, and in this chamber, he is suddenly reducing the pressure. He has reduced the pressure. Are you understanding it? The pressure is reduced suddenly. So when you're reducing suddenly pressure, then see what happened. Actually, nitrogen and other gases which are dissolved in the blood, they leave it. They leave it and they form bubbles. So nitrogen, especially emphasis for nitrogen and other gases, they leave blood and form bubbles. Is it clear, beta? The same problem is observed when the diver, means the person who is diving in the sea, suddenly if he comes up, because you know very well at the deep in the oceans, the partial pressure is very high. And at high altitude, partial pressure is low. So when even the diver, when he suddenly comes up, he is finding the bends in his blood vessels. Means gas bubbles are formed in his blood vessels. And these bubbles are nothing, they are the nitrogen which is diffused out from the blood and it is making up bubbles. Is it clear? And this is also known as decompression sickness with respect to the divers I'm discussing it. Same concept you have to apply here. When you're suddenly reducing the pressure, then what happened? Nitrogen and other bubble gases, they escape from the blood and they form the bubbles. So I hope you can now get an answer. What will be the answer? Your answer will go first option, that gas bubble developed in the tissue of the snake. Is it clear? Gas bubble will be developed. Now see the next question. Now see the third question. Bacteria chlorophyll is a pigment. If I'm saying bacteria chlorophyll means it is a pigment which is present in the bacteria. So they are also telling it is present in the phototrophic bacteria. And how it is different from the plant chlorophyll. So first of all, you should know the difference between the nutrition done by the bacteria as well as by the higher plants. See, bacteria will do photoautotroph. Even plants are doing photoautotrophs. Then what is the difference between them? The bacteria photoautotroph is anoxygenic, means they are not breaking down the water and they are not liberating oxygen. So bacteria will perform anoxygenic photosynthesis. And higher plants, they will also do autotroph, but their photoautotroph is oxygenic. It means they will do the photolysis of water, and after photolysis of water, they will liberate the oxygen. I hope this explanation is helping you to get the right answer. You will be able to approach to the right answer. Both are having chlorophyll, but we give the name bacterial chlorophyll specifically to just to indicate that they don't do photolysis of water. It means they will not produce oxygen. Understood? This much is clear. Now see the next question. See, 4 species of birds are there. Okay, there are 4 species of birds and they are having different egg color. One A species is laying down white egg color with no marking. Second is laying down pale brown color egg with no marking. Third is laying down gray brown color egg with dark streaks and spots. And fourth, pale blue color with dark blue green spots. Now question is asked, which species is most likely to nest in the deep tree? In the deep tree inside, who will be doing it? Those which are want to prevent their egg from predators. Is it clear? So I think so, if you know from that you can get a hint which color will be very contrasting. I think so white color will be very contrasting, it will be easily visible to the predators. So the egg which are white in color, they'll be laid down very deep tree hole, only this will be there. Understood? There, because they have asked which species is most likely, so your answer will go this one, first option. Only one species, that also the one who is laying down white egg color in the deep tree hole. I hope this explanation is helping you to understand the concept. They are okay. Now we are going to discuss last question, fifth question.